Hey, everybody.
Yeah, that's like walk-up music at the ball game. It does
Yeah.
get you amped up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Guess what? It's Saturday, June 14th. It's Father's Day weekend.
Yes, it is.
We're two fathers,
Yes, we are.
and it's our weekend. I started my day off by doing Wordle and getting it in two.
Oh, good for you.
Because I have words I use. I start with Derby.
Yeah.
I go Derby, flank. I don't want to give away all of them. I did not do Derby and flank today. I did do that, but my second is the whole word was one of my words I use. I don't want to give it away if I haven't done it yet. So that's a good way to start off Father's Day weekend. Yesterday was Friday the 13th. I did stand up. I'm down in Richland, Washington right now. I'm remote. This is digital. My background. Having fun doing comedy. Got to see our friends Adam in person.
Nice.
He gave me a little gift. He gave me a little Seinfeld deck of cards, which was very nice. That he found in his travels. Our good friend Ray Pepper came.
Very nice.
I attempted to do a joke about the fact that some people you use their whole name. Like Ray is always Ray Pepper. He's never just Ray. It's my friend Ray Pepper.
Maybe because you know another Ray.
Oh, no. I do know another Ray Riley.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Ray Riley. But welcome to the show. Over there is Raffi.
Over there is Dan.
Other side?
No, when I go like this, it's actually pointing to you on my screen.
Oh, you're not mirrored. I'm mirrored. That's why.
There you go.
All right. So we are broadcasting live as we do every Saturday. And we have been for like 5 years.
Has it been 5 years now we've been doing this?
Pretty much, yeah. We've entered our 6th year because we started during the pandemic during 2020
as Clutch Radio.
As Clutch Radio, which we also did on CBS Radio Seattle for a dozen episodes.
Was that AM 710 or 790?
It was I think it was 790.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, it was 11.
No, I thought it was in the sevens.
No, I think it was 1190.
Okay.
Now I have to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1190. It used to be the Fan.
Okay.
And then it became 1090, the Patriot.
The Patriot. That seems odd.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be? I thought it was mostly sports radio.
We were on sports.
Nah.
Yeah, we were on 1090 The Fan.
Yeah.
And then it became the Patriot, and it became right-wing radio.
Ah.
It's just there's more money in right-wing radio because, they fall for the ads.
There you go.
Just as a fact, when I had my company CashForCars.com, we did a test and we bought radio ads on right-leaning and left-leaning, and the left-leaning did not perform. The right-leaning we got great response from.
That's interesting.
Because you can tell them anything and they believe it.
Oh, is that? That's the premise.
I mean, that's why I think it works. Not because and some people say, well, that's because they have more listeners. That's why you did better. Well, no, we paid for more listeners. You pay when you in radio, you pay per 1,000 listeners, basically. That's how the rates are set. So if the AM liberal station only had 10,000 viewers or listeners, you pay an ad based on 10. If the other one had 20,000, you pay double. But our response rate was better.
So what you're saying is the left-leaning spent more time listening and the right-leaning spent more time reacting.
Yes, you could say that. Welcome to Advertising 101. But it's also the left-leaning. You get more podcast listeners, left-leaning.
Yes,
back then, this is not current.
Yeah.
But yeah. Adam likes my hotel room. Yes, I take this all with me on the road. I take my little bookshelf. I set it all up exactly the same. My microphone that our friend Rob Conley gave me.
Yes.
From the sitcom, I bring the signs. I bring my degree from the college where I did my speech, when I was the keynote speaker, and they gave me a whole thing. My Donnie Iris and my Rick Springfield albums. I all travels with me.
You have a separate suitcase for your gear.
I have a separate vehicle that drives behind me.
Gear case. Speaking of vehicles,
yes, we're here talking about cars.
You were you didn't fly this time. You decided to drive.
This entire trip I've driven. So I left Cambridge Island on Thursday, drove to Gig Harbor, which is only an hour, a little over an hour.
Yeah.
But I got stuck in traffic in Gorst, as one does.
Yes.
And what was crazy was, okay, I drive an electric car. I left my house. It was at 190 miles of available miles.
That's good.
I was driving in traffic in Bremerton as you come down the hill into Gorst, and I was at 199.
Oh, you made miles.
I made miles by sitting in traffic. And then when I arrived in Gig Harbor, there was an Electrify America station there at the Fred Meyer, right beside Ocean 5, in the shopping plaza where the comedy show was. And by the way, your career is going the right place when you can say in the shopping plaza where the comedy venue was.
Listen, that doesn't faze me. One of the bands I played in several years ago, we knew we'd hit the big time when we were playing the opening of a laundromat.
I say, as long as I'm getting paid, I'm a professional comedian. So what was great, I plugged in, and then I went inside. I got a little bit of food. I hung out with Adam for a bit.
Yeah.
Sat at the bar. Had to make me a sidecar. I took a picture of it.
Oh.
Adding to my collection.
Yeah.
And then I went out. My car was almost fully charged. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to drive around and park closer to the building because I had to unload my suitcase full of my T-shirts I'm selling.
Yes, and your traveling gear.
My swag and all this stuff. I don't want to leave this all in the car. And they had a free charger right in front of on the side of the building. So I plugged in there.
Yeah.
I went during the show. My car filled up during the show.
How about that? And
so we did the show. Adam says Ocean 5 was really nice. So Ocean 5, and they have a restaurant called Table 47. Such a nice place. The people are nice. It's a wonderful location. There's a bowling alley. There's an arcade. There's a little comedy room. It's such a nice place. Anyway, so then I left there after the show. It was still light out because it was like 9:30.
Yes, this time of year.
And I headed to Richland, which was 3 hours and 30 minutes away. Drove there. Same thing started happening. The electric started adjusting. I started freaking out because I'm like, I'm not going to make it all the way to Richland without having to stop and charge. But then I'm like, no, it says I have about 40 miles left. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop and fill up anyway. And I stopped in Ellensburg.
Oh yeah,
which if I'm not mistaken, that's where our friend Ron is from. And there's an Electrify America station at a Taco Bell.
Oh.
So I got gassed up. I didn't go into Taco Bell, but I sat for 20 minutes and was back up over 80%, and then headed down here, drove around, did a morning show yesterday. And then the local Fred Meyer had a station. I plugged in, I went inside, grabbed a coffee, came out, and I was charged up. Super convenient.
Now 20 minutes to get to 80%. That's pretty darn.
It was pretty fast. These are like 350 kilowatt hour charging stations. And my car can only go up to 150.
And
it did pretty good.
As a member, or you're part of Electrify America's network,
I get a free 1,000 kilowatt hours of charging from BMW as part of the program.
Is that over a particular span or till you wear it out?
It's 1,000 hours or 2 years, whichever comes first. If I don't use it, it expires after 2 years. But if I use it, it expires after 1,000. And I've used 100 now total.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine you've used even a tenth of that.
That's what I've used. And so tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up. Originally, I thought, I'll wake up 10, 11 o'clock, check out of the hotel, and I'll be home by 3 o'clock. I'm probably just going to bolt super early in the morning and be home by noon. Try to avoid the traffic.
And by the time you're done with this trip, you'll have completed You'll probably have doubled the miles on your car.
Oh,
because
easily.
you've not put many miles on that car.
I think I have 2,000 on it, and I've probably I'll probably put, what is this? I'll probably put 600, 700 on this, 800 on this trip.
Yeah, yeah. I think you get close to 1,000 because depending on where you are and if you're driving around a fair amount. So
yeah. Ray was there. He said he loved the show. Thank you, Ray. Brought some people with him, some family members. Napoleon Dynamite, he went and saw last night. He told me about that. They had the screening of the movie.
Yeah, and some of the original actors were there.
Yes. And Trailer Trash Tammy, he's seeing Chelsea Lynn tonight.
I'm not familiar with that comedian.
Is that a comedian?
I think so. That's the shtick, like the Cable Guy, Larry the Cable Guy, or
I guess so.
I think so.
So it's been interesting to drive. I did freak out. I got a little bit of range anxiety because I'm watching my numbers, and as I was going over the pass, I'm going uphill.
Yeah,
that's when my numbers started to drop.
Yeah,
and then as I'm going downhill, it's regenerative braking, and it's like I'm creating electricity.
Yeah.
So the EV networks are pretty amazing, and my car will be eligible to be on. My whole room is shaking. Somebody's walking by with the suitcase in front of the room, and it's like
earthquake territory.
Not the greatest hotel, but it was free.
There you go.
But so the range anxiety, but the Tesla network, almost everywhere I went, there's also a Tesla station, and it's wild to see other cars pull up to the Tesla stations other than Teslas.
Yeah,
because now they're becoming eligible to use the Tesla infrastructure.
Right.
And I think BMWs are going to be, they said this summer, so soon we'll be eligible to buy an adapter to be able to plug in. And what's great with Electrify America is once I registered once with this plan, I just plug my car in. I don't tell it anything. I don't have to pull an app out. I plug my car in, it talks to my car, they recognize each other, and it starts charging.
Does it also let you know once you're in the network that one is nearby? In case
if I have the app open, yes. But my car will also tell me. I can set my car up, but I typically never get low because I'm driving. I plug in at night sometimes, and I don't charge my car every day. But like driving around locally, I plug in maybe once, twice a week. That's it.
And how long has it been since you've been to a gas station?
Well, my wife's car is a plug-in hybrid.
Right. But
so is my son. So for those reasons, I have to go sometimes. But I've literally not put gas in a car this year, I don't think.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at Jake's pickup every Friday morning.
But you're not using it.
I wasn't there this week.
You weren't. It was a huge turnout. We had all kinds of people. And it for all intents and purposes, sometimes it looks like a Porsche dealership.
I know. Yeah, there's a lot of nice cars. I did do the joke. I'm working on new material about how I said that they do this for
yes, for
Jeep guys.
Cars. Yeah,
and I did the Corvette joke, and it killed. And the two guys sitting in the front row, both Corvette drivers, and their wives both went, "See, I told you."
What was the Corvette? Yes.
No offense to our Corvette drivers. We know it's not true.
It's not true. It's just a trope.
Yes. And I said, of course, Tesla, they'd give the Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And in this crowd, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
If down here, because they're a little politically mixed, but it did well.
Good.
But yeah, so it is interesting driving this car, and comfort wise, holy crap! Like,
yeah, that's
so comfortable of a drive.
Yeah,
I did not realize I could drive 3.5 hours and not have that typical fatigue that you get.
Yeah.
So the seats in this car are really nice.
That's great. Yeah. Well, you're turning into a BMW guy.
I use my turn signal.
Okay, well, that's good.
So Ray Pepper's giving a little auction update for us. Used car prices are high and auction fees are becoming insanity. Bought a car for $2,000 and you owe $2,450 in auction fees. Oh,
Wow.
come on, Ray. You don't have, you mean 2450 after fees.
Total 450 for the fees.
Right. Not an additional.
Yeah.
Well, Adam has a quick question though. Does it have, oh, this is a good question. Not a dumb question at all. Does an EV have battery drain when it sits unplugged for 2 or 3 days? Don't know if that happens while it's not being used. So they used to have it more so. When I had the Tesla, the original one, we went on a trip to Italy, and I remember logging in. The car was parked at the airport. I think it might have been in LA. But anyway, we were on a trip, and I could log into the app, and I could see it was dropping. And the airport didn't have all those plugs that they have now where you can plug in while you're traveling.
Right.
And it was dropping and dropping and dropping. And I'm freaking out because if it gets to 0, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And so it had like 12 miles on it when we got in. So I drove over to the local Chevy dealer there in Burien because they knew they had the Chevy Volt and they probably had a charging station for them. And I said, hey, my car's I just need to plug in for like 10, 20 minutes to get enough to get to the ferry. And once I'm on the ferry, I know I can get home from there. I need to get up to about 25 miles. And they're like, sure. And we tried, and it would not recognize it. You know, I had the adapter, it would not charge. So I just played the brakes the whole way down the back hill to the ferry, got on the ferry. We pulled into the driveway, I think, with 3 miles left.
Wow.
So it did drain quite a bit. And that was the software glitch. It was because it was in a parking garage, and Tesla would automatically always be in contact with the cars because this is back when there weren't as many, and they were, you know, communicating. So it was constantly trying to communicate, and it drained the battery. And it drains the main battery instead of the 12 volt. And I've had that happen in my Polestar. The 12 volt died while I was parked at the airport.
Oh, right.
And that was a pain.
Yes.
Now they typically don't drain. It might be it's called parasitic drain.
Mm-hmm.
There's something running that's pulling some charge. Typically, they don't drain that much anymore. You might lose a mile after, you know, a week.
It's 0.9% of drain on parasitic or parasitic stasis is 0.9%. So if your car stays for a prolonged period of time without charge, supposedly it will lose 0.9% of the total amount that's in there. So if you're 40%, you'll get a drain of 0.9% of 40.
So you'll be at 39.1 when you get back in the car.
Yeah. And it's
not a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because the car typically goes completely off. They didn't used to, because, you know, when Tesla came out, to their credit, say what you want about Elon, but Tesla's a really good car company still.
Two separate things.
Right.
You get an idiot and a really good car company.
Yeah. And I mean, if Steve Jobs was like that, Apple would still be a good phone and computer, which I'm using both of right now. Yeah. Anyway, so initially, though, they were communicating with every car. Like, if I remember, I even signed a thing saying it wasn't optional. Like, they're going to track everything you do, because that's how they're building their software for self-driving.
Yeah.
That's how they're building their over-the-air update capabilities, because we were the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And they still track, you know, all the electric cars still have to track you.
Oh, yeah.
For updates and things like that. But overall, yeah, the EVs they're amazing. And Lucid right now, I mean, I was just reading an article this morning. There was a company called Nikola.
Yes.
That went under, and Lucid bought their entire Phoenix facility, 880,000 square foot facility, and they're going to build their cheaper SUV there. And they make an amazing product, even though, I mean, it's what Tesla was 15 years ago. I mean, they're doing the high end.
They're expensive.
They're very expensive.
Yeah.
But they're working on their sub $50,000 SUV will be their next thing coming out sometime next year. So
personally, I think Lucid and Rivian should merge.
I don't think that'll happen because of the involvement with Lucid and the Arab fund.
Yeah.
That's keeping them afloat, really. Their stock is, I think it's a good buy. I'm not a stock person or recommender, influencer, if you will.
A stock influencer.
But they're $2. It's $2.20 a share right now. I think it's got nowhere to go but up. So
I would agree.
recommend Lucid if you have a few bucks sitting around.
In your lucid moments, you recommend it.
Yes. And there's the Air is their car, the Gravity is their SUV. I'm not sure what other names they're going to use that go with those kind of a theme. But they've got some amazing cars. Back to the auction though for a second. Ray mentioned Stokes.
Yes.
And he's got some cars at Stokes.
It's been Stokes have been around for a long time. I want to say at least 50, maybe even 60 years.
Let's see if it says on the site.
And they started out, if I'm not mistaken, with farm equipment, and then started doing cars, and they were pretty well known around here. If you wanted a sort of a clunker or a junker or a run around town kind of thing back in the 70s and 80s, you'd go there and you could pick up cars for under $100, and they were runners. They had rusted floors and they had some problems, but they were still good cars to run around town with. All right, what do we got here?
So this first one these are some government surplus vehicles.
There you go.
You want to do a little street sweeping? I mean, it's only $1,220. Like, you could just buy this and just drive around towns, and it has 360 miles on it.
That's all?
Is that right?
No, that's got to be a triple.
No, 109,360.
That's more like it. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
wow, that hasn't
look
done
at that. That says 360.
Yeah, that's a trip odometer. Wow. And it goes 80 miles. Can you imagine going 80 miles an hour and cleaning the street?
I know. And for some reason, the gas gauge is covered up.
Yeah,
That's weird.
odd. I wonder why.
All right, so let's see what else we have.
Who's going to buy that? That's actually pretty good. That's a 2000 Super Duty XL. It's a boom truck, but that's okay. You get rid of the boom. You don't need the boom and bucket. But that'd be a good. This probably has 250,000 miles on it, though.
165,000.
Not bad.
But you have to have a DOT number to buy this.
Oh, because of the boom. Because there's there's some legality associated with that.
Now, if you do a title purpose only and a 3-day permit, so if you wanted to buy this to take that off, you could do that.
Yeah.
But to buy it as a boom truck, you have to have a DOT. Let's see what the next one is. Just a flatbed.
Also a good one to get. Yeah.
Not a rollaway. Can you put a car on that?
You can. You could. It wouldn't be a full size car. You could. The thing to do with that would be you'd have to get a ramp set, and they'd have to be long ramps because that's pretty high back there.
Here's a nice Chevy 3500 Express van.
Yeah.
See if it's got that famous peeling paint from back then.
Yes. Good commercial van. Oh, you got tools and stuff inside there.
Oh, that's not bad. It's only $500.
Yeah, if you're running a business. And how many miles on that?
That one had 88,000 miles.
That's not bad at all. Just into a business truck.
This one's got 253.
Yeah, that's more typical.
We got a lot of these vans going. Let's see.
Yeah.
There's another caution transmission.
Uh-oh.
This one's got 200,000 miles. It's going to need a tranny. Transmission, sorry. Not allowed to say that anymore.
Careful.
Here's a Z71 4x4.
Very desirable.
That's a nice truck. 2 owners, 125,000 miles. Engine was replaced. Tires were replaced.
That's a car for Ray. Ray should buy
struts and ball joints and assembly. Ray, this is one you should. Oh, it's at $3,600 already.
Yeah, there's still room. You
can flip that one. That's a good one. Oh,
there's another good one.
$3,500.
SR5 V6. Yeah, that'll do well. How many miles?
256.
Yeah.
I sold mine for $4,600. The one I had with 290,000 miles on it.
You had one of these?
Yeah, it was a 95. I bought it at Insurance Auto Auctions. And I cleaned it up. I painted the hood because the hood was all all
Oh, I
messed up.
remember this one now. Yes,
I
yes.
got the 4x4 to work by just blowing out the
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
These are very efficient vehicles too.
204,000, only one owner.
Yeah. Great space usage inside on the back. You got a picture of the back of that one inside?
Let's see where we're going with the back on this one.
A lot of room inside that.
Yeah, people use these for little mini campers.
Yeah.
They turn them into a tiny home.
Yep.
Oh, I see. It's got all kinds of shelves in it already.
Oh, so it's a work truck. Not
Yeah,
bad
this
at all.
one's already equipped.
Very nice.
So you could take all that out, sell it separately if you wanted, and then put a little bed in there and a little hibachi, and you got yourself a camper.
Hibachi. You put hibachi in there. Make sure you take it out.
Yes.
Do not cook on your hibachi inside your vehicle.
Look at this. Battery is poor. One owner, government, 49,000 miles.
Oh, so the battery is poor. Big deal. Show up with
Yeah.
a $200 battery and you're gold.
It's got a ding in it.
So,
I mean, it's a 1475.
that's
Yeah, this
good.
is one that if you get in this range, you clean it up, you cover that stuff up so it looks like it had like a siren stuff on it or
Yeah.
warning, the little.
Yeah.
You got
That's
yourself a little pickup truck.
Yeah. Look, barely broken in, 49,000 miles.
This is one of the biggest sales ever, I think. Ray was saying this is really high quality. What's sad is when you see like a license plate that's recent, like that CRV, that's pretty recent. So somebody just plated this and now they're selling it.
That's unfortunate.
Recently used for road trips to Portland, Vancouver with no issues. Might need a jump if it sits too long. See, Adam, there you go. There's a non-EV. So that just needs a battery.
That just needs a battery. Or there's some sort of drain
alternator issue as well.
Yeah.
It's not charging the battery when you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, Ray's got a couple there. Let me check my text to see which one he has. He has a 4Runner there.
Oh, okay.
He also has a Subaru and a Nissan. So he's got 3. We'll get to those. So yeah, I mean, these are amazing vehicles that you can get. Sometimes you can get great deals, like you can get a Saab for $265.
Yeah. How much was the mini bid to? The red Mini Cooper.
Let's see.
There you
It's
go.
$700 right now.
$700.
It's a manual transmission with 114,000 miles.
That's pretty good.
Now these go until Tuesday, so a lot of these are going to go way higher.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a cute little one.
Yeah.
He said, by the way, last night I had some sake. I don't really drink. Napoleon was a little blurry. Adam knows Jeff Stokes. He's a customer. He owns the market down the street from Stokes. Name drop.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they've been around since the 70s.
Well, yeah. Jeff Stokes, if I'm not mistaken, he's an auctioneer, and his father started Stokes, and I'm thinking in the 50s, 60s.
Oh, that far back.
Jeff's, probably in his late 60s, early 70s. It's the same guy that I met. Really good auctioneer. He trains a lot of people. He's done a lot of charity auctions, like with Oprah.
Yeah.
Lucid and Polestars are nice on the eyes. Tesla's just an ugly car to look at. Never been a fan of their design. The Model S really was a great looking car, and so is the Roadster. I like the new model. I'm not going to lie. The new Model Y, kind of like the design of it.
If you forget that it's a Tesla, because there's so much negative press associated with Elon, and you just look at the car and the overall visual design and the construction of it, it's actually a pretty well put together vehicle. I think the design is actually fairly well executed. It is derivative, but they've basically been selling derivative designs since the Model S came out. And that's a problem, but it's also a value added for people that have them because they don't have to go too far in terms of getting the recognition that's necessary for the brand. Now, this, I'm curious what the current bid is on this one.
This one's at $17,000.
Yeah.
17,000 miles also.
That's a low mile car. It makes you wonder, why is that car there?
It's out of an estate.
Okay.
So somebody passed away.
Yeah.
And left their car.
Yep.
Look at this nice boat.
Yeah.
$3,400 for this little guy.
Yeah.
Where else do we have? Another boat, $3,100.
Shoot, I gotta grab this. I'm sorry, Dan. I gotta grab this. I'm gonna be bug out for about 2-3 minutes.
Okay, Raffi will be back. I'm going to continue doing some of these. Ray says stick shifts are soft at Stokes. If you're looking for a stick, always shop there. They're always cheap. That makes sense. A lot of people just don't know how to drive a stick shift. I don't know anything about boats, but a Shoreliner trailer with a Regal Volante 225 SC boat. Is that good? I don't know. It's only $1,000 right now. What do they say? The best 2 times of a boat owner's journey is the day he buys the boat and the day he sells the boat. Now, this Dodge Ram looks a little bit like the one that was in our sitcom. That was a fire truck for, was it Issaquah? I forget who it was, but they had it sitting in front of the dealership. This looks like a fun truck. This one's a bankruptcy proceeding that they're handling the sale of. Look at that. Oh, a 1970 FJ Cruiser. That looks like fun. I was looking for a car that was the same year as me. $2,800. I think this is going to go for quite a bit more. 44,000 miles. The seller states they're original. TPO, not a title brand. This unit will be processed title purpose only. No plates will be issued. It must be towed out. Been in a barge since 1990. I wonder why it's title purpose only when there's a plate on it. If they have the title, that's interesting. Ray, maybe you would know why. This looks like it's going to be a real find for somebody. Somebody redoes this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be an interesting one. If you're looking for a cool collector vehicle that's going to be 55 years old this year. Oh my God, I'm a collector vehicle. What else? Oh, 76. See, that one that's my wife's age. Let's get away my wife's age. Sorry. D100 adventure pickup. Hey, it's an adventure pickup. Not to be confused with just a regular pickup. Oh, look at that. Only $1,400. Look at all the junk you get. Comes with junk. That alone, it's like buying a storage unit. Like, what's in that bin?
Okay, we're all set. Sorry about that.
Oh, look at this one, Raffi.
1930 Ford Model A. That's in actually good shape.
It's at $5,000 already.
That's probably going to sell for about $7,500 to $8,000. These are not worth a lot of money. They're expensive to restore these days. So this is how you want to get it. This is an older restoration. Probably was done in the 80s or 90s. These generally are easy to maintain and fun to work on, but they're a lot of work if you're not on top of them. They were never great cars. They were good for what they needed to be and do during the time. But in the context of today, this is a 100-year-old car. So you'd really have to wonder what your use is for that.
Yeah, you missed a few. Let me go back.
Okay.
My mom said my dad had a Model A. I remember the story of the Model A. I think he bought it for $75 and sold it for $75.
There you go.
With a bunch of money. Yeah. Look at this, a 1970.
Yeah.
With 47 original 1,000 miles on it, according to the seller. It's been sitting. It was sitting in a barn since 1990.
Well, these are very desirable. However, this one has been used pretty well, and it's going to require a complete restoration. Parts on this car, if you're looking for parts like those quarter windows in the back, those are desirable pieces. They're hard to find. Yeah. But this is going to take every bit of $25,000 to $30,000 to restore. And then you're going to have a $25,000 to $30,000 vehicle when it's all said and done. If it is an authentic 47,000 mile vehicle, you can carefully restore it and put it all back together, and maybe you'll have a premium vehicle in terms of desirability. But you'd have to love it the way it is. See the holes in the floor? That's problematic because that's just one area. There's probably holes in other places as well.
Yeah. Then the next one we went to was the 76 pickup truck.
Yeah. Looks pretty clean. Boy, that's 70s, huh? Look at those colors.
And then next, look at this one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Econoline, I think.
Yes, Econoline super van.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these were great vans. Lightweight, durable.
But you got a sign that says Grandpa Papa Hill.
But what do you do with this? This is unless you turn it into a working van, there's not much anything else you're going to do. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
That's what you want.
It's a three-wheeler.
Yes, and it's I think that's got I think it has a gyroscopic balancer in it to help with stability and riding.
It says 624 miles, dead battery, runs and drives, see video.
Runs and drives
with the Honda Gyro S, so it's got to have the gyro.
It runs and drives with a dead battery.
Yeah. Apparently, if you put the new battery in, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, I don't think they were super popular. At least not here. Yeah. The idea behind these is to get people who really weren't comfortable on a two-wheeler to run them as three-wheelers because they're more stable. And if you put three wheels on a vehicle, you're still considered a motorcycle, so you don't have to follow the automobile safety standards.
Yeah, so if it's under 50 cc's, you don't have to get a separate license either.
Correct. So that was the market for that.
Hey, look at this, an 08 Accord.
Oh.
Maybe it's time for you to upgrade.
That's nice.
228,000 miles.
Wow. I'd like a lower mile one.
This one I think is Ray's.
There you go, the limited.
It's a 98 4Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, seller states. Yeah, this is. I can tell this is Ray's just by engine and transmission feel strong. Upgraded tires and lift, rear window all work good. Sunroof, radio, 300,000 miles. It's already at 1845.
Wow. A lot of miles, but it'll do well.
This is Ray's also.
Oh.
Let's see, one owner, backup camera, cold AC, heated leather, sunroof, all works. Definitely a Ray description.
Yeah. What's the bid?
This one's at 2375.
2375. How many miles?
198.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles. But they'll go forever. They're good cars.
And then this one is a Lexus. This is not Ray's, I don't think.
How many miles?
Oh, maybe this is Ray's. I thought he had this one has 95,000 miles.
Oh, that's low miles. Where's that bid?
This one's at 5450. No, Ray's other one is not this. Ray's other one is a Nissan. So we'll have to wait till we get to that one.
Okay. This one should sell for around, I'm going to say at the auction, it's probably going to sell for around 6,200, 6,300.
It's pretty close to that now. I bet you it's going to go over 7.
Because these at retail,
service at Toyota Tacoma.
These at retail are like, they're still holding their value. they're like 8 to 11 at retail.
Well, a
And
lot of these people are paying retail when they go. These are consumers buying the cars most of the time. So that these cars end up getting close to retail. This is a piece of crap. I wonder if this is the one Richard and I fixed and sold.
I was going to say, it looks like the one you and Richard had.
It really does.
Yeah.
Crazy. It looks a lot like it. How many miles are on it? 220. Ours was way low.
Wow.
Kia Soul.
These are still
popular. Crap.
These are still popular. They're not great cars, but they're popular.
203,000. If it lasted that long, it's probably not bad. Here's Ray's other one.
Okay.
Let's see how he said about it. Cold AC, power tailgate, heated leather sunroof, all work great. 2 sets of key fobs, except this says fabs.
Fabs. You get fabs.
Fabulous keys. Newer tires and rims.
Newer.
Adam says there's 3-row motorcycles still so odd to see on the road. They look like adult tricycles.
They really are.
All right, so we've hit all of Ray's up. We can stop for now because I'm sure people are tired of watching us look at this auction.
Well, if they're not watching, it's hard to tell what's going on. But we're in the studio, but I don't know if you have access to gas prices. But gas prices are off the charts.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense anymore. Washington State gas price. Now I know you don't gas up because you're on your electric, but you can see prices are just throughout the state of Washington. $4, $4.15, $4.20, $4.50. I saw $4.69.
Yeah, we are up. A year ago we were $4.35. Right now we're $4.36. So we're up a penny of a year ago, but a month ago we're up 5 cents.
Yeah. And crude oil prices just bumped up. And so now we can look forward to even higher prices for fuel. So that's frustrating because gas prices in general, I don't know where they are nationally. I'm curious to see, are we down in the low threes in
313, but it's up on average.
Yeah.
For the whole country. Who do you think has the cheapest right now?
I'll go with my perennial favorite, Mississippi.
I think you're right. Oh wait, we have to do this. I forgot. We can't talk about
gas prices.
How much is gas where you live?
I'll go with Mississippi.
You are correct. 266 in Mississippi.
Wow.
Still not $1.99 anywhere.
That's right. Let's make that clear.
Yes. Never was, never will be.
And the price of eggs still high.
Who has the best premium?
The lowest price premium, I'll go with Oklahoma.
You are correct.
And I'll go with $2.99.
343.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oklahoma's 275 for regular, 343 for premium. Who has the cheapest diesel?
Cheapest diesel, I'll go with cheapest diesel is in Alabama.
Not even close.
Alabama's
at $3.30 for diesel. They're about 19th on the list.
Oh, wow.
At $3.03 coming in number 1, it's Texas.
Texas. Okay. Texas.
So they refine it and make it and
Dieselitas.
Diesel. Gotta love my diesel.
Diesel. I bought me a diesel. That's very helpful.
Oh, diesel. Ray does have a car of the week.
Well, before we go there, diesel gasoline should not be more expensive than any other gasoline.
No.
They make the most of it. It's used everywhere. The military consumes the largest amount of diesel of all, and there's no reason, because it's a lower refinement fuel. It takes the same amount of money to transport diesel as it does any other fuel, but when diesel vehicles were being made as personal vehicles, I think Mercedes and Volkswagen pioneered diesel vehicles for regular use. Commercial vehicles, of course, they've been around a long time, but diesel fuels used to be half the price of regular fuel. So it made sense to run it, but not anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ray has a car. He did one of those live photos again. I can't pull it up, but it's got a little damage to the front. It's a Chevy Spark. He usually doesn't buy damaged cars, but if you tell us the year, make, and model, I mean, it's obviously a Chevy Spark. I don't know what year this is, but he's got a pretty cool car of the week. Let me see if I open it with photos, if it'll. No, that didn't work either. All right, Ray, you got to turn that live feature off on your phone.
Yeah,
I can't share those. They don't come up in preview the same. But $3,900 plus fees. It's a 2019 automatic, only 90,000 miles. It's got a little front end damage though.
Still runs and drives.
Clean title. Yeah. So it could be a good little daily driver if you just need something to get around.
Yeah.
There's a little front end damage. Ray brings something else up interesting. HELOCs are at an all-time high. People tapping their homes to pay bills, highest consumer debt in history, highest repos in recent history. You guys get the feeling this doesn't end well. Well, it'll end with a government bailout when we get a different party in the White House to fix everything.
It's going to be interesting. Look, we've been in this situation before. There are a lot of economic indicators that point to a repeat of 2008, 2009. And we've got people that are using their home loan, their HELOCs, for regular expenses. They're tapping their HELOC to pay their taxes. They're tapping their HELOC to help pay for things that are regular, everyday types of things, because it's getting harder and harder to earn money as a regular person, and to take that money and stay ahead of the curve. And, unless a lot of people, traditionally, there's what we see in some of these economic situations is we see people that are leveraging their HELOC against expectations. And those expectations might be, for example, a parent dying, and then they get an inheritance. That would be a bonus at the end of the year. And these expectancies sometimes don't materialize. So then,
where's that noise?
That's interesting. So
is that coming from your house?
I don't think so. So then what they do is they're leveraging against that, and they're taking the heat of whatever the payment is monthly. And some of these HELOC payments, if you get 30, 40, 50 grand into a HELOC, and it's not hard to do that, you're paying $600-700 a month on the interest. So you're hoping that you can get your money in the end. And if you get your money, you pay off the HELOC. Okay, that's great. You no longer have that problem. But what prevents you then, unless you've gotten $1 million estate payout, what prevents you from getting in that situation again? And a lot of parents of kids are using their HELOC to pay the tuition, to pay the expenses, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you've got people like Dave Ramsey who go out and they're like, don't finance anything, never have any debt, don't do anything. Yeah. Leases are stupid. You can't pay cash. Don't buy anything. Well, if you get 0% interest on a vehicle, do that.
Yeah.
Because if you were going to pay cash, I've told this story before, right after 9/11, they went to 0% on Corvettes, which they've never done. I don't think they've ever done it since. And a guy came in October of 2011 to La Brea Chevrolet, where I worked with the real Tony. And he said, he's like, I've been saving up. I've got, $58,000, whatever the number was. I don't remember the exact number. I'm just going to write a check. I'm going to pay cash for this. I said, here's what you do. ING Direct back then had a 4% savings account.
Yeah.
I said, put your 58,000 in that, get the 0% for 72 months. It's free money.
Yeah.
Have an auto draft come out of your account. We did the math together.
Yeah.
And at the end of 72 months,
You'll have money.
you have like $1,800 sitting in that account.
Yeah.
Of free money that just slowly showed up. I said, and so he did it. And, you know, some people are like, well, what's the advantage to the dealership? Well, there isn't any.
That's right. The only
Cap
advantage is
0%, we don't care.
you're no longer flooring a Corvette. That's the only advantage.
Well, he's still going to be paying for it anyway.
But you're not keeping it. You're not trying to sell it still.
Well, it wouldn't be anyway. He was either paying cash or financing. Either way, the car was sold. Like if he did, if he financed it at 5%, but we got a buy rate of 3%, we're making 2% on the loan. So we're making money. But at 0%, there's no advantage to me as a dealer to do one way or the other. But that's when I say, if you can get 0%, it's free money. Take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
And there's other things out there. I keep seeing these pop up in different feeds where it's not a HELOC. And they call it an investment. Basically, you sell a piece of your house.
Yeah, it's like a reverse mortgage.
It's like a reverse mortgage. And they give you 300 grand, no payments. And then it's due when you sell the house plus interest.
Yeah.
I mean, those should be illegal. Those are going to be predatory soon.
Yeah. Well, it's risky. Anytime you put your house in a second position, it's risky. I always encourage people that say, you know, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about, I'll get a HELOC. The HELOC has low interest and don't do it. It's risky. Instead, try and tough it out with whatever circumstances are hitting you and work up a situation to where you're almost better off getting a credit card and tapping the credit card for the money. And credit cards offer 0% for up to a year. And then at least you get points on the credit card to do things like support travel if you have to do travel for your for various reasons. But don't put your house at risk. If you're in a home and you're fortunate to have a home, don't put it at risk. Certainly don't put your home at risk to buy a vehicle. Instead, look at the overall long-term costs associated with the expenses of maintaining your current vehicle, because that's the cheapest way to go, especially if you feel like you're coming on hard times.
Right. And the people the richest people borrow money against their portfolio, and with the hopes that their portfolio will go up. And you know, there are people, you know, like Elon Musk, he takes out loans against his Tesla stock, and that's how he funds his life. He doesn't take a salary. He just gets paid in stock. And then he borrows against the stock forever, because you don't pay tax on a loan.
Right.
That's where that's how they get away with it. Then when they get money in, they pay off the loan, or they sell their stock and they have to pay tax on the gain in the future.
You're breaking up because you mentioned Elon.
Oh, sorry. Ray did send a picture of the damage.
Well, that's pretty substantial.
Airbag did not go off. Headlight is not broken. It's basically the bumper cover. There's some nice blue tape on it, which is always good. It looks like the door. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. The door is like right in this area.
That's a pretty good wrinkle. See, this is the problem with some of these small cars. You tap them, and because of the way they're built, they transfer all of their energy into the structural cage to protect you. And while, you know, this car probably at a professional body shop is going to cost you about $5,000 to fix. You could take those parts off, find replacement junkyard parts from a car that has been rear-ended, and you may even be able to find them in the same color. And so you'd be able to replace those parts, and that would you could probably do that for around, if you did the work yourself, which wouldn't be too difficult, you could probably do that for around $1,000.
He says it needs a headlight, front fender, and plastic cover.
Yeah, so those three parts altogether is going to be about $1,000 if you found nice, clean, same color parts, and then you could have it done. The assumption here is that there's been no substructure wrinkling. If there is substructure wrinkling, I'm surprised this isn't on a salvage title.
Well, no, because the value would have had to been higher than the value of the car. The car is worth, I mean, it's a 2019 with low miles. It's probably a $8,000 car. Ray's selling it for $3,900, which means he paid less than that. So the damage was not that high. What happened to this one? Raffi's correct. He said $1,000 for the parts. But what happened to this one was it had a head-on collision with a moth. That was the damage it did. That tends to happen with these cheaper cars.
Yeah, these Pacific Northwest moths, they're quite large. They will do this kind of damage.
Or the car just, somebody farted in front of this car and that happened.
Well, this could also have happened just because I've heard these tend to self-explode from the inside.
Well, it is a spark.
That's right.
Ray also has a little bit of finance advice. 5% money market up to 100,000. Kitsap Credit Union, best he's seen.
Yes, and I have to say, at the beginning of the year, I moved a significant portion of my accumulated assets, 30 plus years of various savings and growth in certain stocks. I moved it over to 4.75 and 5.2 money market accounts, and it's been sitting there, and I'm perfectly content with that chunk of cash earning 5% average. It's not a bad way to go if you have some spare cash. It's better than keeping it in a mattress or keeping it in a 0.25% interest rate checking account. And with the market is still pretty volatile.
Dan just mentioned, he mentioned this earlier. I missed this comment because I was off screen. Screwy, they want an inherited home to be occupied to qualify for a repair loan to be occupiable.
Yes, that is very odd. Dan brings up a really good point. If you have an inheritance property to be occupied, it has to be occupied in order to qualify for a repair loan to be occupiable. So you can't. If you own the home, you can fix up your own home and live in it, but you can't do that under these circumstances. It's very odd.
By the way, Ray says, "Ooh, Raffi's liquid. Secret's out. Bank of Raffi is open."
Yes, Bank of Raffi is open. Bank of Raffi, which is funny, by the way, Ray. That's a term that frequently comes up among my friend community because I am known to be a sucker for friendly cash advances, not loans. I don't loan any money, but I literally will give people, good friends, I'll give them some money and I'll tell them, if they're challenged with what they need to get accomplished, I help them out. Not a problem at all.
Well, we need to do 9 more episodes of the sitcom, Tony.
Yes.
So maybe you could front some money. Fender and bumper swapping is a cheap fix if the mounting points are not altered, says Dan.
Exactly. Dan's absolutely right about that. And that's the point we were making earlier. If that car has no external structural damage, and up in the front of that car, there are tiny little flanges, there are little tabs, there are little exposed metal folded lips that if they bend a little bit, if they torque a little bit, that's not a bad problem. You can fix those things. You can get them back to where they're more or less ready to accept the fasteners and put the components back on. But if they've been wrinkled and they've transferred their energy to other portions of the substructure where there's other wrinkled components, then it has to go to a body shop and they have to use a puller. They'll mount it on a platform and they'll laser adjust it to where it meets the mirrored points on the opposite side of the car to get it back to factory. And then when you're in the middle of doing that, well, by the time you pay the $100 and whatever an hour for the body shop to do that work, you're in $4,000 on the repair. So,
quick question for Bring a Trailer.
Yeah,
I noticed one of your cars is relisted.
Yes.
Is it something you want to talk about? Can we mention it real quick?
Yeah. So there's a BMW. It's a 2017 BMW Alpina B7, which is the top of the line, beautiful car. This is the 7 Series long wheelbase, gorgeous automobile. This car was listed before and sold for $41,250, which was a very good buy for this car.
Yes.
This is a $150,000 automobile when it was brand new. That was only 8 years ago. It has only 60,000 miles on it. So that was a good buy, but the buyer was unable to fulfill the payment. And this does sometimes happen. He assumed his bank would give him financing on it, but because it was a used car, they said, no, we won't finance this car.
He should have got a HELOC. I mean, what was he thinking?
That's right. So he was unable to fulfill the commitment. I did my best to find a backup buyer, and I found a backup buyer, and he was in at 41. But at the last minute, I think his wife said, you're not buying that, and he backed out. So because the original buyer on Bring a Trailer was unable to fulfill, Bring a Trailer agreed to relist the vehicle, and the current bid is, I believe, $31,000, and I think it'll get to where it needs to be so that we can make a sale.
It's a gorgeous car.
That's in great shape. The front air dam has a little bit of scraping from driveways,
Hitting moths. Oh, I see the scraping.
Underneath, there's a secondary flap that needs to be corrected, but everything else is really in great shape. Of course, the TPMS system light is on.
That's the stupidest. Yeah, somebody's got to fix that.
I think it's a conspiracy from tire companies to get you to come in and for them to tell you need new tires after 3 years. It used to be people would say if your tires are 10 years old, you should replace them. Now you go into this, well, 7 years, you have performance tires, 5 years, that's iffy. Here's the other ones I've got. It's a gorgeous Porsche, unbelievably. The spec on this Porsche is, it's got ceramic brakes, it's got front axle lift system, it's got great leather interior, carbon accents, it's sport chrono. This is a really, really nice car. It's already bid to $99,000, and the reason why is try to go and get one from the dealer today. You're either going to get hosed on timing, because they'll tell you, if you want this one, it's going to be another 7 months out. They're going to tell you that they just can't get it. The allocation isn't there. Or worse, they'll tell you, well, here's a 24 that's on the lot right now. You can have it for $160,000. So this is a strong car, I think, and will do very well.
So it's at 99,992 because it is a 992.
Someone added 992, so it got another bid up.
So that is gorgeous. And you have one other car running right now.
Yes, I have one other car. It's
another Porsche.
Yes, and this is a beautiful car. This is unbelievably nice. This is 25,000 mile original car, original paint, original interior, original engine. This car is in gorgeous condition. It's beautiful throughout. No issues whatsoever. The owner stepped up and spent like $3,000 to get the air conditioning converted to R134A. Blows cold. He also replaced the convertible top module. So everything works on the car. It runs, starts, stops, and drives like a new car. So someone is going to step up and be the owner of it. And this is if you're looking for a Porsche, this is pretty much it. This is the 5-speed manual, air-cooled engine. It's got the Fuchs wheels.
What'd you call me?
Red on black. And that is the original paint. It's unbelievable how nice that car is. Very, very nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is, we went over today, but we've gone under the past few weeks.
There you go.
Races, don't forget on this beautiful Pacific Northwest Day, come to Affordable Used Cars in Bremerton, get your free Dutch Brothers coffee. Ask for Ray. Restrictions apply.
Yes.
Or if the restriction is Ray has to be there. Did I catch the lady who stiffed me on the shirt? I would have chased and possibly tackled her if you would have asked me. So what happened was somebody she only had a $50 bill and she wanted to buy a shirt, and I said I don't have change. I said I can do Venmo. So she went to do Venmo and she didn't know how to use. So I showed her. She couldn't get the thing to scan. So I typed in my, at Dr. Laugh. If anybody wants to Venmo me money, DRLAFF at Dr. Laugh, and I hit enter. I handed her. I said, I don't want to hit enter. So she hit enter. And she said, okay. And she took her shirt and she left. Well, then it's supposed to ask for, you can put in the last 4 digits of my cell phone if you know me. And if you don't know me, you say, I'm taking a chance, and you hit. She never did that.
Oh.
So I didn't get paid on that shirt.
Oh.
So there goes all the profit.
Dang.
Tonight I'm going to go super cheap on the shirts to see if I can sell more of them.
You should do a come backstage or come to the merch table. I'll be there. Tell me a joke. If I like your joke, you get a free shirt. Or you get 50% off.
Yeah, maybe. I might do pay what you want.
There you go.
I think we do that tonight. Pay what you want.
You can auction
whatever you think the show is worth, you can have a t-shirt for that much money. If somebody says you owe me 9 shirts, I'm gonna be, oh shit, I guess I didn't do well tonight.
You can be on stage and say, this is a very special shirt. I'm going to auction it off right now.
Yeah, here you go. I'll put it on. Here you go. I'm gonna put all of them on.
Yes.
The shirt off my back.
The shirt off my back. There you go. That'd be a good thing on the to run on it.
And she ran out the door, shirt was clenched. She ran out with the Heisman Trophy.
She was clenched.
He will keep an eye out for the shirt in Gig Harbor. She looks shifty.
All right. Well, another show.
I'll be driving back. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yeah. Do something fun for your father. If you are a father, don't be ashamed. Don't make sure your children know that it's Father's Day. And make a big deal out of it.
Yes, it's your day.
It is your
Tomorrow
day.
I'm doing nothing. I'm driving home. I'll be in the car for 4 hours, 4+ hours, having a little cookout, hanging out with my mom, my wife, my son.
There you go.
Or I drive to the cemetery, say hi to my dad.
Yeah.
Hi to his tombstone at least. If you have your fathers, give them a call. If you can't see them, and say hello. They'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. All right.
Goodbye, everybody. Got to hit the button. Bye.